Hi, I'm the Recruiting Maven and welcome back to my channel. Just want to say thank you to all the LinkedIn followers and Facebook followers. Thank you so much for liking and sharing all my content. I deeply appreciate that. So with that said, getting on to the topic of conversation for the day, and I'm sorry the light is a little off today. It's kind of grayish and then it's not. So there's nothing I can do about it now. So moving on, how recruitment and dating are very similar. And believe it or not, that's not just a clickbait type of situation. But, I've actually have fallen in love with certain candidates who were phenomenal and just the nicest of people and easy to get along with. Just a real quality candidate all around. And some of them I've kept in touch with. So. And everything was kept professional, so just in case you were wondering, but it is certainly like dating. So initially I'll look through maybe a database of people and reach out to those people who are the most appealing, people who are the most fit that job description, that's a really good jumping point. So maybe you're at a party or you're at a bar or wherever it is that you are. Maybe you're at a wedding and you see somebody, who's hot and you want to approach them and, ask them for a date, or hopefully they get asked you for a date, whatever floats your boat. But certainly there's a wooing process that goes on in recruitment as well, trying to lure that candidate. So it initially starts by a phone call and trying to get that person to respond to you. Although in recruitment it's very forward, but some people in dating are very forward too. So with that said, the whole process of that first interview, that correspondence that kind of goes back and forth, really echoes some of those love letters and enticing that person. So there's that similarity. Once you get that person in front of you, then it just sort of becomes kind of a nice, it changes the dynamic. So it becomes really nice to be able to have that person come to you and meet you in person, and everyone's on their base behavior and everyone's dressed up so nicely. So then there's that. But certainly I've swiped either right or left, depending on the likability of a candidate as well. So there are some apps that function that way too. With that said, you don't initially take that plunge of, committing to someone on paper, or in other words, asking them to marry you unless you know them and maybe done a background check. And then offer them a letter of recommendation further down the line once they've gone through that process of interviewing, not only through an initial phone interview, but also in person, maybe perhaps with a larger team. But certainly people do fall in love with candidates for sure. Hiring managers will say, oh, I absolutely love that person because. So there's that word, and it isn't meant obviously to the greater depth of that word when it comes to personal relationships, but certainly, hiring managers do fall in love with candidates who can bring something positive to the team, can, have additional skills that maybe that team doesn't have, and they could, help, once they come on board, help to expand the team in a positive way. So it isn't necessarily Romeo and Juliet, by any means, but certainly I can testify to the fact that I certainly have fallen in love with some great candidates who have become friends, and some of them have I've had the pleasure and the opportunity to be included part of their family. So recruitment sometimes gets kind of a bad rap where it's just input output, and I can't really say that is always the case, at least not for me, as I still do text some of my friends, some of my past candidates who become friends, and even their wives or their significant others will still reach out to me and go have lunch or whatnot. So and I think that's such a wonderful aspect to what I do. That makes it a lot more fulfilling for me as well, a lot more rewarding, And that's something that I truly, truly enjoy. So, don't discount that recruiter. I know there's a lot of recruiters out there that will kind of like, just reach out to anybody and everybody just to get a submittal, but not all of us are created equal. And some of us are looking forward to falling in love with our next candidate. So I appreciate your time. If you haven't subscribed, make sure that you subscribe and hit that little bell to get the notifications when I upload, and hope you like and share. I thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to continuing the dialogue. Take care.